will have implications nationally, and I'm talking about the dissolution of the Shiv Sena as the faction that Uddhav Thackeray claimed as his own. Well, viewers, today Uddhav Thackeray appeared before the public and said it's the most difficult time for the party. These were his words. How did that happen? Well, the Election Commission recognized his rival's camp as the real Shiv Sena. And today, perhaps in the ultimate humiliation, Uddhav Thackeray lost control of the party's office, its physical space in the State Assembly. Just like the name and symbol, this space, this almost sacred space, has been synonymous with the Sena almost since its inception. Now, we are told that after inflicting these three defeats, Uddhav's arch nemesis Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena party, is now eyeing the party's office at the BMC headquarters. Now, if Shinde were to manage to secure this too, it would represent the ultimate humiliation for the Thackeray's. Viewers, first listen in to the reports that have been filed by our correspondents, and then also, of course, the reactions of the Shiv Sena as it is now assumed its present form.
Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena faction, after taking charge over Vidhan Bhavan political party office, it has been seen that they might come to BMC headquarters where we are present. Look at this sealed office. Now, this was sealed on 29th of December 2022, and by the order of administrator, it was seen that after a scuffle breaking out between both the Sena factions, this particular office of Shiv Sena was closed. Here now you can see all the ex-corporators of Shiv Sena from majorly Uddhav Thackeray camp are present here. It is important to note that while we speak about the Vidhan Bhavan office, it has been done after taking the charge, when we see Election Commission of India had passed an order that it will be retained by Eknath Shinde faction. And after which today since 9 AM we saw series of meetings taking place, and after which Eknath Shinde faction had reached from Balasaheb Bhavan to Vidhan Bhavan, and they took over the party office there. Technically, they might come here, and for the preparations, we are seeing that Uddhav Thackeray camp leaders, in fact, the representatives of the BMC, the former representatives have already reached here.
जैसे आपको कहा कि महाराष्ट्र विधिमंडल के लॉ है, वैसा हमारे बीएमसी का भी लॉ है। बीएमसी के लॉ से वो पार्टी के मेंबर को डिस्कस करने के लिए वहां पे
The BJP is of course asking Uddhav Thackeray to stop blaming others for his own dwindling electoral prospects. A few days ago, erstwhile Aghadi ally and now well-wisher Sharad Pawar asked Uddhav Thackeray to stop whining over the loss of a party symbol. And Pawar is right. Viewers, here are some hard facts. And I always bring these hard facts out so that you can come closer to the truth. These hard facts suggest that splits and mergers are not new to Indian politics. There have been many instances where satraps have emerged winners under brand new party names and symbols. It's clearly not what you are called or what your symbol is, but how you serve the people that matters to them. Now let's take you over some of these facts. And Uddhav Thackeray should perhaps focus on these facts, because it will tell him that even if you lose it all, your party symbol, etc., you can still come up trumps. If your message is sincere, if you really desire to serve the people with sincerity. Now let's walk you through this. There, viewers, was one of the most iconic splits in Indian political history. It was the first split in the Congress. The Congress O came under K. Kamraj, Congress R under Indira Gandhi. And look at what happens. In the 1971 general elections, the Congress O won only 6 and formed the NCP. You might remember that. Pawar left over Sonia's foreign origins. It was a bitter, bitter crack-up of the party. 1999 general elections, the Congress won 10 seats in Maharashtra. The NCP significantly won 6 seats, viewers, in Maharashtra. So it came a close second. It wasn't wiped out, it wasn't eviscerated, and Sharad Pawar certainly didn't think that he came away a loser. In 1998, Mamta left the Congress and formed the Trinamool Congress. In the 1998 general elections, the Congress won 1 seat in Bengal. TMC won 7 seats in Bengal. It tells you something. 1964, another iconic split in Indian politics. This time within the left ranks, the communist ranks. The split in the Communist Party of India gave birth to the CPIM. In the 1967 general elections, the CPI won 23 seats. Mother Party won 23 seats. The CPIM won 19 seats, viewers. So there's really no reason for Uddhav Thackeray to whinge and whine and moan. In 1997, Lalu broke away from the Janata Dal and formed the RJD, the Rashtriya Janata Dal. In the 1998 general elections, viewers, the Janata Dal, the mother party, won 1 seat. The RJD won 17 seats. To look for scapegoats then seems more like... I want to begin with Sanjay Hegde. We also have with us Ratan Sharda and of course Ishkaran Bhandari. We are also awaiting Amit Malviya, the national spokesman of the BJP. He's joining us in just a few moments. But let me first begin with you, Mr. Poonawala. Sharad Pawar came around the other day. Now, of course, he realized perhaps that it was politically incorrect to have said what he said, but he said to Uddhav Thackeray, stop blaming your tools. Stop blaming the fact that you may not have the flag or the symbol, the name, even the party office. You can do without all of those. Others have done fantastically well. Go out there, stop this whining and whinging. Would you agree with Sharad Pawar?
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you. Good evening to all your viewers and to my fellow panelists. Yeah, to that extent, I agree with Mr. Pawar because there are two aspects to this debate. One is the political and one is the legal. I want to reflect on both. But to the political aspect, I agree with Mr. Pawar that there's nothing you can do, so you have to fight back. It's like a cat that is cornered. But more importantly, who can you blame but yourself? If you're chief minister or you are in government, which includes the Congress, and 30 or 40 of your MLAs are being escorted by Mumbai police on the border up to Gujarat from Maharashtra, and your commissioner does not tell you. So, I mean, that to me is shocking. So there has to be some hard political questions to be asked. No doubt about it. But I have a legal query because we are sitting with two very good lawyers, Sanjay Hegde, who always helps me, and Ishkaran, who I like a lot. You see, what I'm very uncomfortable about is this election commission order, and I went through it. Now, while I want to cast no aspersions on the election commission, it's a constitutional body, I am surprised at the hurry and the speed at which the election commission decided to resolve this issue of the Shiv Sena, but has not resolved the issue of Chirag Paswan and the LJP pending prior to the Shiv Sena issue. Amazing. It just picked and chose. Now the election commission or supporters of the BJP says, supporters of the election commission, 27 February is a by-election. But a by-election existed even previously, which was contested on 2 separate symbols. So that was no problem. So why did you not solve the Chirag Paswan issue, but chose to solve only the Shiv Sena issue? Point number 1. Point number 2. I find the decision of the election commission arbitrary with respect to the election commission. Why? Because the election commission more or less in its order says, look, Uddhav Thackeray had the power to appoint a committee that then appointed him as the president. Fair enough. Can I please know from the Bharatiya Janata Party that the parliamentary board that was reconstituted just recently by JP Nadda, which then went on to elect JP Nadda, how is that constitutional? So Bhajpa kare to chamatkar, koi aur kare to gunegar. how does the same rule not apply to the BJP but apply to the Shiv Sena? I just haven't understood this. Or for that matter, let's even extend it to the Congress, which appoints the CWC, which then appoints the president. How is this acceptable for one political party but not for the other? So the Election Commission needs to clarify on this.
Okay, the same rule may apply theoretically to the BJP if perhaps the Congress or somebody else were to split the BJP, perhaps even from within. If someone from within the BJP were to split it, then perhaps this question could be legitimately asked. You haven't still answered the fundamental question. Is Uddhav Thackeray using this as a pretext to somehow deflect onus from his own mishandling? Now remember, viewers, something like this transpired just after the election result. If you remember, viewers, the Shiv Sena and the BJP were allies. They come out of an election and suddenly Uddhav Thackeray outmaneuvers the BJP. That actually tried to pull off a coup of its own. Very complicated, viewers. But everything about this has been opportunistic. The fact here is, why is Uddhav Thackeray, does he have the grounds to attack the Election Commission? That's the fundamental question. And I want to bring in, no, and yes, you can talk about prioritizing this over the other. There might be an issue there, but many people would turn around and say that there is no election happening, there's no really pressing need for the Election Commission to take a position on, let's say, Mr. Paswan. I'm not saying that, I don't believe that, but it could be argued. But let me just bring in Ishkaran Bhandari on the most substantial points. The Election Commission today is being accused of partisanship. Do you think this is more of an excuse?
It's an absolute excuse because there is no partisanship. They went in with the factor and they have given it out their judgment. That 76% of the vote cast for Shiv Sena are with the MLAs which are with Mr. Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So 76% they are deciding, and they say that it's an objective criteria on which we can decide very easily. But before we come to all that, let us, because you gave many examples of succession politics, I think a better example is Tamil Nadu, where a Taring leader died and there was a succession battle. After the death of MGR, Janki, his wife, became the CM for 22 days. The MLAs are overwhelmingly with her, but she could not prove it in the assembly. A president's rule was imposed by the Congress government at that time. And what happened thereafter? In the election, Jayalalitha faction and Janki faction both fought the election. The party symbol was frozen, as Election Commission has frozen right now. And even though they both lost, the government was of DMK, but Jayalalitha's faction got 27 seats and was the clear number 2. Janki's faction got 2 seats, and then Jayalalitha, history is written, how she became the Taring leader. So end of the day, all these symbols, all these names amount for nothing, but the people will decide. The BMC election is yet to come. If Uddhav Sena manages to sweep that election, I think the debate is over, which is the real Shiv Sena. And if Mr. Shinde manages to sweep it or win it or in alliance with BJP, form the government, there also, end of the day, in democracy, everything lies in the hands of the people. But as far as Election Commission is concerned, they passed an order which is absolutely in accordance with law. It has been challenged in Supreme Court. We'll see what the court does. But of all the options before the Election Commission, I think they chose what's the path of the law.
Okay, on the other point that Tehseen Poonawalla raised about prioritizing one case over the other, now we do know that even the Supreme Court does that quite often.
No, there are two factors to that. Firstly, I agree fully with Tehseen that if a sitting CM cannot protect or cannot know that his MLAs are being taken out, then does that person deserve to remain a CM? I am in agreement with Tehseen on that. Now on to priority. There are often enough times that one petitioner is also moving applications and asking for early listing of matter. I don't know an LGP case. Is either of the parties wanting to resolve it? Have everybody completed the pleadings? Are there applications being made? Whereas in this case, the petitioner could be asking the court for a judgment or the Election Commission for a judgment. There are multiplicity of factors. So just to pick out this has come early, that has come late, I think is not going to lead anywhere.
Okay, let me bring in.
To both?
Yeah, okay, very quickly, yes.
Yeah, very quickly. On the first factor of more MLAs with Mr. Shinde, actually, and comparing it to Jayalalitha's case is actually factually incorrect, because in this particular case, in this order, the Election Commission writes that we have not taken into account the Karyakartas. Now remember, the Karyakartas of Shiv Sena are registered. They've not even decided to count that. They've only gone by the electoral strength of the MLAs elected on the Shiv Sena symbol. In case of Jayalalitha and the other case, they were fighting for the symbol. Here, the election was on the symbol.
No, hang on, just a minute. This is the reasoning, and let me take you through. Let me walk you through the reasoning, and I want to bring in Mr. Sanjay Hegde. Okay, one second. Yes, Mr. Ishkaran Bhandari, what were you trying to say? Make your point.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Please let us be very clear. In that case,
One second, Tehseen Poonawalla, please. Okay, just 1 second. Let me just go over clause 124. It's very important. The 40 MLAs supporting the petitioner garnered 36,57,327 votes out of a total of, and this is quite clear, 47,82,440 votes. That is 76% of votes polled in favor of 55 winning MLAs in the general election to the Legislative Assembly in 2019. This contrasts with 11,25,113 votes garnered by the 15 MLAs whose support is claimed by the respondents. That is 23.5% of the votes polled in favor of winning 55 MLAs. Further, as against 90,49,789 total votes polled by Shiv Sena in general election to the Legislative Assembly of Maharashtra in 2019, including the losing candidates, votes polled by 40 MLAs supporting the petitioners come to minus 40%, whereas votes polled by 15 MLAs supporting the respondent comes to minus 12% of the total votes polled by candidates contesting on symbol of the party in 2019 general election to the Legislative Assembly of Maharashtra. So the numbers clearly favored the Eknath Shinde faction. Mr. Hegde, this is maths, and maths is pure.
No, maths can also be used selectively. No, there is that thing on statistics that if your head is in a noun and your feet are in the fridge, then statistically you're comfortable.
But sir,
so maths can no. But
you're talking about statistics. I'm talking about pure maths.
How do you use it? This is a statistic which was used. Who got how many votes and who is with whom? That may be one measure of deciding. But there have been several other precedents also. Normally, what happens is that that the symbol is frozen and both factions get separate symbols. Mr. Sharad Pawar did remind people as to what happened when the Congress split originally under Indira Gandhi.
Yeah.
Though the symbol went, the two bullocks with the yoke. The two bullocks went to the Congress O, and the Congress R, which was Indira Gandhi's faction, got the cow and calf. The cow and calf then marched to victory. So yes, in one sense, Mr. Pawar is right that symbols did matter at a particular point of time, but notwithstanding the loss of a symbol, ultimately when the people get to vote, they will finally decide who is the real Shiv Sena. Now, the question really is, why was the Shiv Sena in a hurry to use this metric about MLAs, when the basic question of whether the MLAs had incurred defection, had not incurred defection, would the anti-defection law apply to them? Would it not apply to them because there was a no confidence motion against the speaker? All these are before the Supreme Court. Now, tomorrow, if the Supreme Court were to say, no, this entire defection problem has wrongly been resolved, and therefore, all things have to be restored to status quo ante. So, why was the election? Why was the election commission?
Hang on. Mr. Hegde, see.
Rahul, can I have
I'll read out 5 points.
I can handle one interruption at a time.
Yeah, 1 second. So Mr. Hegde,
decide who's the moderator.
I'm just 1 second. Let me just come in, Mr. Hegde. It's very simple. That look, instead of casting aspersions on the fair name of the Election Commission, go up in appeal. The Supreme Court will deal with the matter.
That's exactly what they have done, and
No.
I will not prejudge what the Supreme Court will say.
No, but Uddhav Thackeray has already prejudged the Election Commission in the court of public opinion. Do you think that is fair?
Well, he could have very well said that the Election Commission is as independent as the Enforcement Directorate.
No,
Would that be fair?
But he said exactly that. He said exactly that in not so many words. Now, the point is,
So do we have
we're talking about two
do we
different...
have free, fair and fearless institutions
Okay, but
in
world
India?
over...
That is the question.
Okay, world over, and I just want to counter you on this, Sanjay Hegde ji. The constitution of the Shiv Sena, including amendments made in 2018, the EC said vested authoritarian powers in the hands of the party president. And it is for this reason that Uddhav Thackeray factions claim that they were in a numerical majority as far as organizational posts and support of the cadre did not cut ice with the EC. It's quite clear, jiski lathi uski bhais.
That is not the law, no.
Oh,
see,
that's not the law.
no. Let's put it this way. Tomorrow, let's have a situation where of the 55 remaining Congress MPs, 40 odd decide that they don't want to face the ED, they don't want to do this, they go and form another faction. Then would the Election Commission also get into the question? You see, there is this one family which controls the party. Shall we rewrite their constitution? The Election Commission is about handling free and fair elections. Election symbols are part of that process. They were very necessary at a particular point of time when in India there were large masses of people who could not read or write. And therefore, the first election commissioner, Sukumar Sen, came out with election symbols. Then these election symbols have become a kind of brand. The question is, who owns the brand? So this is more a fight about the branding exercise. Branding exercises normally get resolved.
Sir, this is not a fight about the branding exercise. Uddhav Thackeray has made this a fight about the brand that the EC today represents. That is the fight. I'm sorry, let's not be...
problem. Just 1 second. Rahul, let me complete.
Yeah.
The Election Commission is supposed to be an impartial umpire. But we have seen umpires like Steve Bucknor. We've seen what they've done to India. And at times, India has protested.
So, Mr. Hegde, after every election, the umpire's ability to give a verdict without any bias is questioned. We've even had a case where people have said that the EVMs are being rigged by the Election Commission, that they're supplied to one particular party well in advance. Anyhow, let the BJP's national spokesperson come in here, Amit Malviya. Sour grapes or the EC has become a handmaiden, as Sanjay Hegde would like us to believe, the Enforcement Directorate has become in the hands of the ruling establishment. It's a simple, straightforward question to you, Amit Malviya.
Look, Rahul, there is a tendency among those who end up on the losing side to blame institutions for everything that they cannot achieve. Now, in this particular case, very clearly, the Election Commission has outlined the reason why it has awarded the name and symbol to the Shinde faction and called it the original Shiv Sena. More than two-thirds MLA and MPs are now with the Shinde faction. Of the 55, 40 are with Shinde faction. Out of the 18 members of parliament, 13 are with the Shinde faction. In terms of vote share, they have got as much as 75% vote. Even if you were to include candidates who lost and have contested on the Shiv Sena election, still the numbers are overwhelmingly in favor of the Shinde faction. Now, given this and the fact that the party constitution has been mutilated beyond redemption, the Election Commission has given its verdict. Now, clearly, one party will always be aggrieved, as the case is in this case. Uddhav Thackeray has lost control of the party that his father founded, and Eknath Shinde is now the inheritor of Balasaheb's legacy. If Uddhav Thackeray feels that there is genuine reason, I'm sure he has the counsel of excellent lawyers or erudite, educated lawyers like Mr. Hegde, who can represent him in the Supreme Court and fight it out. But at the moment, the matter is settled. The Shiv Sena name and symbol is with Eknath Shinde. They are in a coalition with the BJP, and the government in Maharashtra is doing the job of 5 years in the coming 2.5 years, or about 2 years that they have got. Having said that, let's come to the politics of it all. I want to ask, where is Mr. Pawar? He hasn't extended a word of condolence for Uddhav Thackeray, although he was the man who was egging on Uddhav Thackeray to continue to be the chief minister. I want to know, where is the Congress party who were in alliance with the Shiv Sena, because they have somehow managed to retain their legislators, and Uddhav Thackeray has lost his party. The legacy, the Thackeray name that they thought was theirs for keeping. Now, having said that, you're absolutely right. When the polls happen in Maharashtra, the Lok Sabha first, followed by the Assembly election, the people of Maharashtra will decide in their wisdom which Shiv Sena is the actual Shiv Sena. And clearly, at that point in time, the Uddhav Thackeray faction will have the confidence to go in and ask for a vote in the name of whatever they stood for.
Okay.
And the matter will be settled fair and square. Where is the problem? I don't see it.
Yogi Gade. Yogi Gade is also joining us. Yogi Gade, why are you moaning, whining and not accepting the reality? 2/3 of your MLAs walk out. Clearly there is disaffection. Clearly they are upset. You have 2/3 of your MPs walking out. Clearly there is disaffection. Clearly there is disillusionment. There is a coup of sorts. And they have said that Mr. Uddhav Thackeray doesn't represent the values of the Shiv Sena. You have done a massive volte-face, sir. You joined the Congress party and you allowed the Congress to even abuse your icon, Veer Savarkar. How do you expect the Shiv Sainik that stood for what Veer Savarkar stands for to accept this? And your boss kept quiet.
May I speak?
Yeah, please. Question is to you.
Yes, sir. If you have seen the facts, Shiv Sena has not kept quiet. Shiv Sena has in fact urged the central government to give Bharat Ratna to Veer Savarkar ji, even being in the Mahavikas Aghadi. And number two, as far as you are talking about the MLAs and MPs, sir, the EC, if you see, if it has given an unconstitutional verdict because the MLAs and MPs don't represent the entire party, sir. There are the party cadres, there are so many party members, there are Shaka Pramukhs, there are city presidents, there are district presidents in the party who are part of this democracy.
Who appoints them?
One minute. If you decide only the MLAs and MPs represent the party, then it's unconstitutionally wrong, sir. Tomorrow, if Aam Aadmi Party's majority of the MLAs go somewhere else, will they be the owners of the party, sir? This is not democracy, sir.
Who appoints them? Who appoints your Shaka Pramukhs?
Is totally giving a wrong message to the democracy of our country.
Who appoints your Shaka Pramukhs? Isn't it Uddhav Thackeray? How can that be a legitimate test? Obviously, those people who have suddenly been elected or appointed rather.
There are district presidents, sir, there are members of the party who are a part of the political party, not just the MLA.
Yogi Gade, there are two problems here. Number one, let me come back to you. Please, you're an advocate. Let me come back to you. And I will bring in Ratan Sharda right after that. Mr. Yogi Gade, there are two problems with what you're saying. The first problem, of course, is that the Shiv Sena stood by mutely when the Congress party's own ministers rubbished and ridiculed Veer Savarkar, when the Congress's putative leader Rahul Gandhi continually, show me one statement that Uddhav Thackeray made ticking off Rahul Gandhi about Veer Savarkar, your own party's icon.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, one statement.
They have said Veer Savarkar should be given the Bharat Ratna.
Can you give me one statement from Uddhav Thackeray ticking off Rahul Gandhi? One statement, sir.
Yes, sir. They have said they don't agree with Rahul Gandhi.
Can you show where Uddhav Thackeray
will send
has
it to
said
you after.
publicly when Rahul Gandhi made this statement that I do not agree with you, Rahul Gandhi, apologize, withdraw your statement.
Shiv Sena
Show
has
me
said they
one
don't
statement.
I will send you. Shiv Sena has said they don't agree with Rahul Gandhi.
Sir,
In fact,
Shiv
they have
Sena, I'm not talking about Shiv Sena. The
Sir,
coup
they
was
went
against
on-
Mr. Uddhav Thackeray for being...
Yes,
No,
they
one
have
second.
said this, and
Please,
they
sir.
went on ahead. They
So
went ahead
you're not letting me
government.
finish my sentence. I'm giving the facts, please. Uddhav Thackeray faces backlash because he put power above. Very importantly, viewers, the personality, the love of the ordinary Shiv Sainik for Veer Savarkar. That's the contention, that's the charge, that is what Mr. Shinde said. Yogi Gade, show me one statement from Uddhav Thackeray saying, Rahul Gandhi, please keep quiet. You have no business to be saying this in these many words. Show me one statement.
Yes, I will send you the statement after the debate, sir.
You know why after the debate? You've come prepared for this debate. I'm sure you've come.
Give me time to finish also, sir. When you're asking me a question, you should allow me to answer.
No. Please. Please tell me.
Yes.
Come on, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Give me that one statement.
Shiv Sena has also told, and it is already also reported on your channel, Shiv Sena asked the central government to award Bharat Ratna to Veer Savarkar, even being with the Mahavikas Aghadi. The central government has still not taken a decision on this. And secondly, coming to the election commission, sir, if today this is happening with Shiv Sena, it may happen with any political party in India, any political party in future, and all political parties, if they don't raise their voice today...
No, don't go on to that. Don't go on. Love and respect for Savarkar, we have faith in him. After the event, not before. Ratan Sharda, how do you respond to this?
See, I would not even get into this Savarkar controversy to turn it into some kind of excuse for the Uttarakhand faction to come out of this particular episode, whether it was Savarkar episode or the entire episode of Maharashtra government. My issue is that, one is that you cannot keep on bailing, because what statement did he make? He said, I am luckily born a Thackeray, which they cannot take away. So purely dynastic call, purely a call based on which he was trying to control Shiv Sena. But cadre and voters, as far as I know, I'm living in Mumbai from my childhood, born here, people are very unhappy. Their cadre, their voters are very embarrassed the way Uddhav Thackeray threw away Hindutva ideology and became friends with secular parties and tried to be more secular than secular himself. So the very ground on which it had succeeded for years together, much beyond its actual strength in the electorate, it was given due respect by BJP continuously. It played second fiddle as long as BJP was not as strong as Shiv Sena. Despite all this, it ditched its partner. You will remember Raj Thackeray, who rose on his own strength, nearly beat Shiv Sena down, but for his laziness, erratic behavior, this Numerical Sena would have taken down Shiv Sena totally. It was BJP which saved Shiv Sena with their alliance. Then if you look at this case, he was just a Facebook chief minister. He hardly attended offices. He hardly met his supporters, hardly met electorate. He was a chief minister of Facebook. He was a chief minister of Bollywood. He was a chief minister of Marathi media, which was so tame, it raised no serious questions in entire tenure. So in such a case, if he feels that he still wants to own up Shiv Sena, we have seen the fight Indira Gandhi put up. She didn't worry about the symbol. No other party is worried about symbol. Anytime a decision goes against one particular party, you start raising ruckus on election commission itself. Now he says, dissolve election commission. He has no constitution which is democratic in his own party. He amended it in 2018, and he now talks about dissolving the election commission. So what kind of politics these people are playing, creating disrespect for the constitution, and also they have left their platform openly for the Shiv Sena, which has become main Shiv Sena. When you abandon an ideology, your people don't stand with you, they leave, you don't even know who are leaving. Such a sleeping CM today crying and taking Thackeray up in their own strength.
A sleeping CM stepped on the job, compromised on ideology. You yourself, Tehseen Poonawalla, have accused the Bharatiya Janata Party in the past of entering into a wholly opportunistic alliance with the PDP in Kashmir. I remember you've been on this show many times and have said that. Why shouldn't that apply to Uddhav Thackeray? And therefore, why shouldn't that lead to a certain degree of consternation among Shiv Sainiks, so much so that they decide to break away? Why should that also not apply here?
Fantastic question, and I was hoping for this question, because when the by-election happened, when the election commission froze both the symbols, and the only by-election that happened, Uddhav Thackeray's faction won. Eknath Shinde's faction had to eat humble pie. Second thing, Mr. Malviya raised a very important point. You see, he said...
Hang on, there was no candidate from the other faction.
Yes, because they had to withdraw. They had to withdraw.
No.
Between the legs and ran away. They withdrew, put their tails. They had put up a candidate. They withdrew the candidate.
Don't be economical with facts. It was a one-way election because the candidate fielded by the Shiv Sena had lost her husband, and therefore no candidate was fielded. So please don't come on national television and lie.
Put the complete truth out.
No, make your point,
please,
but do not lie. And don't obfuscate facts.
No, I'm not.
It was won by Uddhav Thackeray faction.
Please allow me, Rahul. Allow me my time.
Candidate
allow me my time, Rahul.
Their candidate.
One at a time, gentlemen.
Rahul, please allow me my time.
Let him finish. Mr. Malviya, you can rebut him. I'll give you time for rebuttals. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Malviya challenged me on the candidate issue. The candidate of the Shiv Sena, the wife...
I have fact-checked you. I have proved that you were...
Mr. Malviya, please allow me to speak.
Okay, 1 second,
now you can go ahead.
Mr. Malviya, please allow me to speak. You'll get your time. Please allow me. Mr. Malviya challenged me on the candidate issue. Now here, the wife, the widow of the candidate, of the sitting MLA who passed away, the BJP government refused to accept her resignation. She had to go to High Court. The High Court gave them a stinging indictment. The Devendra Fadnavis wanted to put a candidate. It was only last minute that BJP and Eknath Shinde had to withdraw because they knew that the candidate was winning. Why did they harass a widow who was contesting?
Okay, 1 second. Mr. Poonawala, I just want to put the record out here. No, please, record straight.
Now allow me to fact
No, 1 second. No, Mr. Poonawala, let me just interrupt you. First of all, you haven't answered my question. You gave me a compliment but didn't answer the question. But nonetheless, I just want to put out the statement of Maharashtra Chief Minister of October 30th, 2022. This was before that by-election that Tehseen Poonawala is talking about. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde said that while they were assured of a victory, they had decided to back off from the election in view of requests made by leaders from across the political spectrum. Latke was our colleague. Unfortunately, he passed away. All the senior leaders like Pawar Sahib and other MLAs too appealed, and it is our culture that we do not field a candidate against the family members of deceased MLA or MP during the by-poll. We let the family member win unopposed, unquote. That's what it was said by him.
Is it their culture to
no, secondly, is it plausible, Mr. Poonawala, very quickly, is it plausible that the members who have today broken away from Uddhav Thackeray were upset that he entered into an unholy alliance in their books with a Congress party that stood, which was the antithesis of the Shiv Sena's politics? If this could be true of the BJP and the PDP, why can't it be true of the Shiv Sena under Uddhav Thackeray and the Congress party or even the NCP?
It can't, because the election commission did not count the karyakartas who are registered as Yogesh ji rightly said. Sir, 1 minute, just allow me to...
You're not answering my question. This is about disaffection, sir.
I am coming to exactly that. If you would have counted the karyakartas, you would have
decided on the karyakartas. Just a moment.
Everyone's interrupting me. I cannot make my point. Allow me to make my point. You're all interrupting me.
Argument. No, what I'm saying is any party.
Okay.
No, just any party.
Please allow me.
Ever.
Let him finish.
Just a moment.
Please.
Just 10 seconds.
Okay, let him finish his point.
I'll expose it right now.
Let him finish his point. Please. Yeah.
I am answering your question. That's all.
Let him finish his point.
2 points.
Yeah.
Number one, if there is disaffection, it would have shown in the karyakartas, but the karyakartas continue to be in a majority with Mr. Thackeray, which election commission hasn't seen. But more importantly, this 2018 order, which Mr. Malviya refers to as the legal ground for the election commission, the election commission says it did not know that the constitution was amended and Uddhav Thackeray ji was the Shiv Sena Pramukh. The election commission did not know Chief Minister is Pramukh. The BJP did not know it. Mr. Eknath Shinde, who voted in that, did not know it was amended. Only in 2022, overtaking LJP's case, the election commission comes to know that there's an amendment. We live in strange times, Mr. Shivshankar.
Okay.
We live in absolutely
There is a democratic deficit in the amended constitution, the process, its amendment, and its working. That's what the court has said. Yes, Mr. Ratan Chadha, final point. Mr. Malviya after that, and then I'll move on.
My simple point was any party split across since independence was decided on Karyakarta numbers.
No.
He's talking a lot about Karyakarta numbers.
No.
The simple question
it wasn't. It wasn't. Certainly not the first time around.
So where does it come in question of Shiv Sena?
Yes.
Why does he want a separate law for Shiv Sena? That was a simple statement. I wanted to answer that.
Every time they want a special case. Okay, Mr. Malviya. Quick one. Karyakarta issue.
Look, as far as the Karyakarta issue is concerned, the Election Commission has looked at the constitution of the party and they believe that the due process of even appointing or having internal democracy has not been followed. The word that they used is mutilated. That is what the Election Commission said. Lastly, and I'm repeating it again, in democracy, all decisions and all judgments are settled in the people's court. The Shiv Sena, the Uddhav faction has lost in the Election Commission.
Okay.
They are free to go to the Supreme Court. And of course, at the end, the people's court is where it will be all decided.
Okay.
If the Uddhav Thackeray faction, I can't even call them Shiv Sena anymore, if the Uddhav Thackeray faction feels aggrieved, I understand. He has, for his greed to become the chief minister for 2 years, has compromised on ideology, has compromised on every principal value that
it's not the first time.
He has lost the party.
Okay, it's not the first time that people have compromised on their ideology to join hands with another party that they don't agree with to form the government or to become chief ministers or even prime ministers. Viewers, that's a separate issue. We are here on a narrow point. Is Mr. Uddhav Thackeray today complaining, protesting too much? And is he undermining democratic institutions by calling into question their impartiality? Especially when the matter now is in court. Surely he could have waited. Anyhow, viewers, we'll be coming back to this. There'll be an important hearing tomorrow in the Supreme Court. But viewers, the